So, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another installment of Honor Kings and Sons TV. This is your host, Darian Jones, and I'm super excited to come to you guys another time, another episode. I'm here on this platform. Shout out to all of those who following me. There's places you can follow me. You can follow me on Instagram at Honor Kings and Sons all together. You also can follow my apparel page, which is at HKS underscore apparel. And you also can follow me on different platforms like LinkedIn, obviously YouTube. There's going to be a lot of platforms that I'm going to be sending all of my material to over the course of the remainder of the year. You know, I'm just so blessed to be at this, point in my life where I can really just, give all that I have to my listeners and those that's been rocking with me. So I'm super excited to just be a part of something big and really just say to myself like I can do this and make it happen. So really, man, I just been here. I've had my notepad. I've been writing notes. I like to write notes before I'm about to shoot. I like to prep. I want to make sure, I'm in the zone. And yeah, man, I'm just super excited. I don't. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, or I have a long list of topics. I don't even know which one to choose. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I ever bring up a topic and you guys really like it, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave comments. Like, let me know. Like, man, what you talked about, I'm feeling it. I want to hear more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm down to dialogue with people. Go live and have conversations with people. Like I'm down to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to get to the point where I start interviewing people and just dialoguing with different individuals from around the world. Not just in the city that I live in. All around the world. I'm super excited. To get into that. So let me tell you, man. I decided that to on this episode, I was gonna, um, uh, talk about something that, quote unquote, is a hot topic, like legit. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, um, it's something that in the culture and in the world, everybody's been talking about it back to back to back, and it's about definition. It's like what exactly is this? What are we looking at? I'll reference Dave Chappelle when he did his special, The Age of Spin. He said that we live in the age of spin where we don't even know what are we looking at. So I titled this topic, it's called Definitions Needed. We live in a time where we need to know what we're looking at, and we need to know what is what. We got the cancel culture. That cancel culture is insane. Every 5 seconds, somebody's getting canceled for what it is that they're doing, what it is that they believe in, if it's a popular, if it's unpopular. We got the cancel culture happening. We got people that are being neutral on certain situations. We got people, when it comes to relationships, it's the age-old argument, what are we? Two people get in a relationship, whatever foundations, whatever is their foundation of that relationship, they get into it, and then, things happen. One thing leads to another. There's dating, then there's intimate, moments taking place. For some people, the first time that they actually like get intimate and have sex, it's like, okay, now we're in a relationship, you know. And for the man, that don't necessarily mean that. In most cases, it don't mean nothing at all in terms of like that being the landmark for establishing a relationship. So it's like we're in an age where there's definitions. Like we are lacking definition, and it's everywhere. It's in social media, it's in music, it's in politics, it's in Hollywood, it's in religion, it's in everything. It's like what what is it that I'm looking at? What is this? You got to put definitions, man. This is the new era where it's like make it make sense. People ain't just gonna people not just gonna do just to do anymore. That era has died a horrible death. But people, they just not gonna do that. Like prime example, I remember I was on LinkedIn and I was reading this article, and the post said that we should ban unpaid internships, and I was like, man, why? Or I wanted to read more into it to see where this is coming from. And the truth be told is, we've had so many things happen. We've had, things like COVID take place, and the opportunity for people to work from home. We've had, like things like financial crisis, where you have the banking. Banking is horrible. I think I posted an article last week when $75 trillion was removed from the Federal Reserve, and more withdrawals. People are just pulling money out of banks. People liquidating their assets. People transferring their stuff to, their offshore accounts, their insurance policies. People, doing different things like that. They try to protect themselves for when like there's more market crashes and more economic crisis. So it's like, people ain't just gonna, work for nothing no more. Like you put up this job description, like where is the money? So if an internship is posted and they say, oh, you're gonna get experience, you're gonna get an opportunity if you do this. It's like, nah, man, people out here struggling. There is an article that also came out, and I can post all this information. It's just flowing through me right now. There's an article that came out about how, Gen Z, they are no longer applying to jobs where the salary is not posted. So a lot of companies are having difficulties with their hiring managers and recruiters because some of them don't want to put the salary, but that position that they need filled, they don't have that many applicants for it because Gen Z is just not applying. So it's like, man, it's definitions out here. Like what is it that like I am doing? What is my end result? What is my outcome? Like, who are you in my life? What am I supposed to do at this job? Like, these are all types of questions that are direct. And I think that we as an entire people, we're moving into an age where like we're going back to seeking truth. And from a biblical perspective, this is actually a good thing, when so many lies have been put out there, when so many things have been said and done that has wronged people and robbed people. I think it's great for everybody. Doesn't matter if you believe in the same thing faith-wise. It doesn't matter, your race, color, creed, gender. Everybody is moving to a place where they want to get the truth, and I think it's the perfect time to, if you were a person that was straddling the fence, get off the fence and really like label yourself a person that stands for the truth or a person that doesn't stand for the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like, I'll tell you this. Like, I remember when I was in high school and I got to college. One of the things that I know there's a lot of guys that can agree with me on this. There was this thing where like women were being upfront. In middle school and high school, if you wanted to get with a girl, like you play the cat and mouse game. Either he's the player, and she's the damsel in distress, or of course you may have that one chick, she's the player, and you the sucker because you don't know the game like that, you know, and they get together and things happen, or a relationship may come out of it, who knows, but that's how it is in high school and middle school. When you get to college, especially for me when I got to college, I met women who was like upfront, like they were coming to me, whatever type of conversation or however I got into a conversation that was even leaning towards like a relationship or something where I was vibing with them or they was vibing with me. Like I would say if not by the first conversation, for sure, by the second conversation, it was made perfectly clear from her what she wanted to do with me, how long she wanted to do it, and her making the decision if she was going to keep me around or not. And then I was just like, that was a huge shock for me. Because first of all, me, I wasn't a dude that ran game on girls when I was young, middle school, high school. I was in a totally different frame of mind. I wasn't like that. And even in college, I wasn't like that up until a certain point. So I was like, wow, like that's crazy, and now this was what, 2012? That I would say 2010. Yeah, because I graduated high school 2009 and started college 2009. So I would say 2009 and up, I started to see this, and then now it's like commonplace, or it's like, you got people that will straight up tell you like, we ain't got to do X, Y, and Z. We ain't got to hold hands. This is what I want from you. This is what I'm gonna give you, and it is what it is. And if something good comes out of it, okay, cool. If something doesn't, it doesn't. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, dang, like that was like one of the first times that I started to just see like cutthroat, like, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Like this is what it is. And then, now, there's so many things that have changed that narrative. Music has changed that narrative. Celebrities and how they handle themselves have changed that narrative. Politics, religion, human rights, so many different things have changed that narrative. So my thing is that we got to put stuff to a definite. We have to put a definition to everything. Everything needs a definition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in our society, one thing that we have not paid attention to for a long time is the method of desensitization. What is that? Desensitization is when you put something in front of somebody's eyes for a very long period of time. While you do that, you tell them something about that thing over and over again, with the intent to make them believe what it is you're saying about it. All right? So obviously the goal most of the time is to get them to believe something that's not the truth about what you're saying. So it's kind of like looking at the sky, and from a kid, your teacher tells you the sky is blue, but then you meet somebody, probably when you're like in middle school, and they tell you, no, the sky is really red. It's that blue is a shade of red. So now at first you're like, this guy's an idiot, or this person is an idiot. What are they talking about? But if they say that to you over and over and over again, at some point, you're going to sit there one day and you're going to question, dang, is that blue sky really a shade of red? As a matter of fact, psychologically, you would even start to investigate and see how many shades of red could correspond to shades of blue. Then you'll start digging deep and saying, well, let's look at the color spectrum. Let's look at the hue. Maybe there's a coagulation of colors up there that majority of them come from red, and when they bind together, they make blue, right? And that can be right, that can be wrong. But my thing is that it's the fact of you start to question what it is that you're looking at, and you should always question what you're looking at. So that's not bad. But when something is factual, when something is, absolute, and now somebody's putting something in your ear to dilute what it is that you're looking at, that becomes a problem. And we see that everywhere. We see that everywhere today. Prime example, now when you go to the grocery store, you see chicken breasts, but it says with rib meat, right? So it's like, you're looking at the thing, you're like, so is this chicken breast or rib meat? How much percent of this chicken breast is actual chicken, and the other percent, how much of it is rib meat? It's like, it looks exactly like a chicken breast. So now you're digging through it and trying to figure out what part of this chicken breast is rib meat. This is where we are. It's like, we have to come to a conclusion that what we're looking at, is it the real thing? Who am I talking to? What am I eating? Who am I dating? Who am I married to? What is my political party really doing for me? What is my president doing for me? It's really like that now. It's really, really, really like that now. If you look at what's going on when it comes to like school systems, like what is a real education looking like today? Is something like critical race theory so dangerous? The standpoint of the LGBTQ movement and things and advances that they've made, over time with rights, with lobbying for things like the workplace, what's being taught in schools and things like that. It's getting to a point where, like people are having to have seminars and heavy debates and protests and walkthroughs to really get to the point of defining, how would you say, defining something that we've all known for a very long time. But it's because something has been put in front of us and we've been told, no, this is what it really is. Or what you've been looking at this whole entire time, it's made up of a bunch of things. So it was never a solid thing. It was a bunch of things. Or, it doesn't have to be this certain thing. It could be something else. We're just living in an age where we need definitions. If we get to the point where we can just liquidate everything and nothing is nothing, then it's a problem, because even in that type of statement, like nothing is something. Like we have to get to the point where we're not skewing so many different lines. And I know as a faith-based person, that opens a lot of conversations. I don't even need to go into any of those type of conversations, because I'm pretty sure they're being had 24/7 in terms of like, simple things when it comes to, even when you talk about faith. Is heaven real? Is there a hell? Is what is an actual sin? Like, or what is sin? Do I go to hell for not believing in Jesus? Does God hate homosexuals? The list can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And that's just within the faith spectrum. You know, I had an incident one time where I was working with a team of people, and when I was working with this team of people, I realized that everybody was easily being told what to do by people who were not experts in what this group of people could do. Matter of fact, without this group of people, every event that their higher ups wanted would have not been successful. But because this group of people didn't know how to delegate, they didn't know how to, they didn't know the details to all of their positions. They didn't know the details to their workspace. They didn't know the details to, I guess you would say, like their day-to-day workflow when they're doing these type of events. Because they didn't have that fully mapped out, things would be chaotic. I mean, like it was just horrible. So when I stepped in, because there was a situation where I had to step in and help out, and I wanted to do it because I didn't want the organization to get a bad look. So when I stepped in to help, the first thing I did was start to define everybody's role. I didn't care if you were already doing it. I wanted to define everybody's role and then what everybody's role is connected to. And then by doing so, I was able to reveal to them roles that needed to be filled as a result of us having X amount of people, and then X amount of things are being demanded of us, and X amount of things are being neglected, and so on and so on and so forth, which is causing for poor performance at these events. So by the time I did that, I had created or came up with, I would say, like five, I think probably like 6 or 7 positions that I was like, we need a person to do this so that this individual doesn't have to leave their post in order to get something done during the event. Also, I had to do a lot of administration because the team did not have that. There was no like office aide or executive assistant or clerk. So I had to create all of that and then be all of that so that they could freely do what they needed to do. And it was burdensome, it was tough, but um, by the time I was done, I'd be walking in, no problems, barely any hiccups. I knew where my team was, they knew what we had to do. When we had meetings after the event, a lot of people were getting, praises for their good work and their good efforts. If I had to heavily critique the team, I did, so we could stay on point. And it turned out great for the time being. But it took me to apply definition. Because if you are in an atmosphere where you cannot clearly define something, you're blind. You're in darkness. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. How would you feel if you are in a house and the whole entire time that you're living with people, Nobody tells you who's your parents from who's your siblings. Now, you may have this innate feeling like, well, this person is older than me, and this person is always paying the bills, and this person is always taking care of me, and this person is always going X, Y, and Z here with me because we're about the same age. Your intuition will start to make predictions or make assumptions because you'll strongly feel like, well, based on X, Y, and Z, this person does this and they might be my parent, right? That will cause a lot of confusion. That will cause a lot of frustration. As a matter of fact, it bleeds into things like insecurities because if you don't have a clear definition of who you're dealing with, what you're doing, then what happens is that opens doors for you to question your purpose on this planet. Um, you have no reason to hope. As a matter of fact, you will be hoping for so long, but until you get that answer, the longing will just allow you to continue to suffer in that state. We as human beings, we need answers. We need answers. Sometimes we're not going to get the answer that we want, or we may not ever get the answer, but it's built in us to look for one. And we have a better experience doing so when there are definitions to something, when there are definitions to experiences, when there are definitions to words, when there are definitions to stages in your life, when there are definitions to choices, when there are definitions to opportunities. When we have things defined, it makes it easier. Now, of course, life would not be worthwhile and worth living and experiencing if everything was mapped out for us, right? And everything was defined for us. It's a journey. It's what makes it worth living. But there are certain things in this life we need definition to because it helps create a basis for ourselves as we're going out about our day. Let me tell you something. In this culture, we need definition. Don't tell me what it kind of is. Don't tell me what you think it is. Tell me what it is. And guess what? It needs to be what it is. It is what it is. We got to be bold and call a spade a spade. In this day and age, we have to. We have to learn how to check our friends. We have to learn in love how to, stand firm upon the truth. We have to learn to not be afraid to stand up for that. Because if we're not doing so, man, we're just gonna lead people astray. We're gonna lead people into confusion. And let me tell you, man, that's not cool. That's not cool. People's life is precious. Life is beautiful. Life is precious. Don't allow yourself to be in a watered down environment where you can't define anything. And if you're that person that you're always playing around with the truth, you're that person that you're always giving people so many alternatives so they don't have to address the truth, really think about what you're doing because at some point it's going to cause massive destruction. And that's not cool. We want to really apply definition, to our life. Where are we going? What are we doing? Just like that age-old conversation when a man gets with a woman, it's like, where are we going? Where are you taking me? Where are we gonna live? You want me, you want everything I have to offer. Where's the ring? And we have to apply definition, man. What are we? Back to that. Like, where is this going? It's kind of like I remember like in LeBron James like prime. And when I say prime, meaning like when he was like on every commercial, he was in everything. He was like on every other meme. There was a famous one when LeBron is at a press conference, and it shows that he was asked a question. I think the question was stupid, and he just got up with his little mini briefcase and walked off. Right? It's kind of like, like if you gonna sit here and waste my time, if you're gonna sit here and pity pat, then I ain't got time for it. Nobody got time, man. We don't got time to waste anymore with these bland, blunt, vague descriptions of what's in front of us. Like, we need to keep it real. We need to call it what it is, and we need to deal with the fact that it needs to be known. The truth needs to be known. Because when the truth is not present, it's darkness, and everybody's separated. You know what I'm saying? We need to come into the truth, for sure. So that's my time, guys, for this episode. I try to keep it at 30 minutes. This is like, whenever I do episodes like this, try to keep it no more than that time. So if you guys enjoyed this conversation, you know what I'm saying, leave your comments. If you want a part 2, let me know so that I can do a part 2. And definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely, follow on Instagram. I'm going to give everybody the links. You're going to see it in the descriptions. Soon you're going to see a lot of the merch. I'm going to have it everywhere. Honor Kings and Sons, HKS. I did designs for women's apparel. I did designs for any of my backpack peoples. You know what I'm saying? You in school or wherever you go, you always got a backpack. I got hats, accessories, all of that stuff is available for you. You know what I'm saying? So support, that. And I appreciate everybody rocking with me. And until next time, this is Darian Jones, CEO and founder of Honor Kings and Sons TV. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.